Hi guys, welcome back to another vlog. If you're new here, my name is Cass. Thank you so much for joining me today. Things are happening in the business. I'm going to show you a lot of the ins and the outs and content creation and planning for an event and client calls and how I prep for them and my event planning process. I'm going to bring you guys along a ton of that. And something that I was dealing with today, which happy Monday to me, is I woke up to a text from an attendee from one of the events that I'm doing. Specifically, I'm supposed to be doing a networking brunch on Sunday, and I get a text today, Monday, asking me if I'm going to postpone it because of the weather. Now, for context, over the weekend we had just had a snowstorm, and I didn't think that we're having another one. And so I look at the weather because I'm confused, because I said we just had a snowstorm. This morning when I checked the weather, it said that it would be snowing 80% and on Saturday 80% as well. But now that I'm looking at my phone, which I'm glad that I'm looking at my phone again, it's saying that it's not gonna snow on Saturday but only on Sunday. On the weather channel it says there's a 39% chance of snow. This is like real-time thought process. If I were to postpone it, then there is a chance that not everyone can make it. Therefore, I would need to do refunds because it is a complete different date. People are moving their schedules for this. If the snowstorm is absolutely confirmed and there is something severe weather this weekend, then I am gonna postpone it just for the safety of everyone, especially because I found out, which I didn't know until maybe a couple weeks ago, that the restaurant itself is usually closed on Sunday, but because I wanted to book an event and they didn't have availability on that Saturday, they're opening specially just for this event. And it is an intimate 20-person brunch. And yeah, so then their workers could be in danger from commuting to work if it is a snowstorm just for one party. Yeah, that's my dilemma. I'm gonna think about it. I'm gonna reach out to Monica because Monica is the guest speaker. She lives about an hour away from me, and she said that if it snows more than like 3 inches, then she's gonna be stuck because they don't clean the roads efficiently. So I'm gonna propose to her. Well, I'm gonna ask her what her thoughts are. Hey Monica, hope your Monday is doing well. So I wanted to give you a little update. So I did get approval from the restaurant that I could move it on the 7th. And honestly, I was 100% set on doing that. The downside to that, of course, would be I don't know if everyone would be able to make it on that Saturday. I may have to issue refunds, and also I don't know if I would be able to get all the tickets necessary to cover the entire event if I do have cancellations, or yeah, if I have cancellations from people not being able to come on the new date. However, I just checked the weather app and it completely changed. This morning when I looked, it said it was going to be 80% chance of snow on both Saturday and Sunday, and pretty much snowing all throughout. But now, I don't know what it says on your end, but on my end, it says Saturday it's going to be sunny, partly cloudy, and then Sunday there's a 60% chance of snow, and it'll be more so, the peak of it would be, I think, in the afternoon. So my thought process, and you can let me know what you think, my thought process was maybe I should just keep it on Sunday. Now I wait on that. So now that things are a little settled, if you are new here, I have 3, almost 4 businesses, and my mind is constantly just racing with these different tabs and compartments in my head. Think about it like a Safari or Chrome tab, and you have all your different tabs on the window. So think of it like that. That is how my brain works, and I just have to like switch to different tabs constantly all day long. But anyway, so if you're new here, I'll give you a 30-second rundown. I have the Social LUXE agency. I do influencer, brand events, activations. I'm currently planning New York Fashion Week, and I am just in the weeds with that. And I'm also currently planning a potential fashion show that I know I want to make happen for New York Fashion Week September. And I also do group activations, I do standalone events, and all things are with small businesses and influencers. Secondly, I have the Social LUXE Club. This is specifically for small business owners and entrepreneurs in New York City and New Jersey currently. And I do networking events, and currently I'm planning a brunch that is happening supposedly this Sunday, which I will confirm later on in this video. But this Sunday, we're supposed to have our very first event of 2026, which is a intimate networking brunch with my friend Monica from Monica's Collective. She's going to be the guest speaker for that event. But aside from that, we're also planning co-working sessions and other just business owner type events in New York. Third, I have my hobby business, as I like to call it, called GRAZE a Day. It is where I do charcuterie boards, and that has been on the back burner since last year, honestly, because I just had no bandwidth to even think about running that third business. So currently on pause, but I definitely want to start ramping it up in the spring, especially because a lot of people start having their events in April, May. But it's a hobby. I have fun. I love doing that. And I love doing charcuterie boards and grazing tables for my events for clients as well. Fourth, which is currently in the works and will be launching ideally summer of 2026. Fearless Empire is meant to be more like the mentor, coaching, one-on-one strategy sessions specifically for businesses, women of faith. I want to just help women of faith build their legacy, build their empire, and help them with their business, whether that's helping with their pricing, with their strategy, with their marketing, with their content creation, and kind of just guide them in that way. So that is currently where I'm at with my business, and I'm excited to bring you guys along. So this vlog was originally supposed to start off with content creation, and I was gonna bring you guys along just how I filmed some videos for Fearless Empire, and I have an entire setup. I'll show you. So originally this morning I was gonna do a whole breakdown on all of this, and I have my audio like interface, I have my microphone, I have my camera, I have my lights, I have all of this. To be completely honest, I have zero motivation to do that right now. With my current mood that I'm feeling right now, like just feeling a bit stressed and a little overwhelmed, I normally would not pick up the camera whatsoever, but I'm trying to get better at that. However, I am forcing myself to vlog right now, but I could in no way go and film a bunch of real videos and just be peppy. I don't know, I just know myself. So with that being said, I decided that right now I'm gonna bake banana bread. I got ready, I did a video on TikTok, and I was just excited to just do a whole bunch of filming today. But then this whole issue with if I need to move the event and talking to the venues and talking to some attendees, talking to Monica, doing all these things, went back and forth, just added another layer of stress that I did not expect and did not need. So with that being said, I'm gonna do a 1 hour, maybe even less, depends, 1 hour just de-stressor. I'm gonna bake some banana bread because honestly, cooking and baking is my stress reliever, which is why I love doing it so much. And I'm gonna just bring you guys along on that and just show you how I make my favorite banana bread, which I will link the recipe below. So the first thing that I need to do is even make sure that these bananas are still good, because I put them in the fridge, and when you put in the fridge, they just like brown so much faster. So I need to make sure it's still good because honestly, it's a little iffy. But I had one last night and it was perfectly fine. It was just brown on the outside. So let me just see. Okay, this one looks good. Okay, this one is good. Because everything just like sticks. But okay, they're perfectly ripe, so they're probably really sweet, which I'm excited about. Okay, so one of the most important aspects for this recipe is making sure that you brown the butter. So this is something I had to learn how to do because I never browned butter, and the first couple of times I actually burnt it, so it was black butter. So I'm gonna just show you guys how I do it. My problem was I was impatient, and I would turn it on to like medium high, and then I would mix it, and then it would brown way too fast and it would burn. So slow and steady. It usually takes about 10 minutes to brown, and then you can tell because it's like this really nice nutty aroma. So while that is heating up, I'll mash up these bananas. I didn't have a masher until recently, and it changed the entire game because before I would use a fork. Even for my mashed potatoes, I would use a fork, and it would just take forever. You really don't think about something that you need until you're baking or cooking and you're like, oh, I should get this. And you just never do it. So when I moved into this apartment, I want to make sure that I had all the different kitchen tools, which is why I got the set of kitchen tools that's all silicone. these specifically. I got all of these things because it came with all the different things that I never really considered getting, but I knew would probably be the best. And also I loved this one because it came with, I just call this a butter brush, but it came with one of these brushes, which I was meaning to get this for at least a year. And every time I would bake, I would think about getting this because when they would say that you have to brush on butter, what I would do is, why am I holding this at the same time? Anyways, what I would do, because I didn't have this butter brush, is I would dip the paper towel in butter and just brush it on that way, because that was an alternative. And because it worked for me, I just never ended up getting one. So, but now I'm happy I have one. It's so convenient. Banana bread also freezes really well. So the last time I made a loaf, after it cooled down, I cut it up. I think it was probably about like maybe 8 pieces, and then I wrapped them individually and put them in the freezer. And whenever I felt like having one, because obviously I'm not going to eat this all in just a few days before it gets stale, but what I would do is I would just take it out a couple hours before dinner. It'll thaw out, and then I put it in the microwave for about 30 seconds to 45 seconds, and it was perfect. Also, something to note, guys, is I realized that it was just so obvious I was having a day because I'm fully in my pajamas. Typically, I'm not vlogging with, like, during my work day, I'm not in my pajamas. I'm usually in a, like, sweater or loungewear, or at least, like, leggings and a t-shirt. But today, I am fully just in a set of pajamas to feel cozy because of the morning that I had. And honestly, I had such a stressful work weekend, which is another reason why I didn't vlog. Like, I was just going through it because just sometimes, like, you were just so excited about something happening in your business, and you're like, okay, finally I've reached the goal that I had. Like, it's finally come together. And then something happens, or someone drops out, or a contract changes, or a business can't pay you, or like something of that sort, and you're like, almost, so close. Sometimes as a business owner, it feels like I'm taking like 5 steps forward, and then something happens and I take 3 steps back, and like 5. So it's like a very slow but up and down roller coaster, emotional roller coaster process, but I'm grateful for it. Honestly, I wouldn't change it for the world. However, some of these days just really kick me down and just make me feel so stressed and overwhelmed and unwell that I just need a day like this where I take a break and I make some banana bread in the middle of the day. Well, it's actually like the afternoon, but you know, just take some time to not think about work and just make a nice batch of banana bread, and then I can get back to it. Okay, so now I am just going to brown 1 whole stick of butter. And you want to do this at the very beginning because you actually need to let the butter cool down a bit. And then I'm just taking a silicone whisk and gonna melt this down. So it's on low heat, and what you don't want to do is you don't want it to overboil. It's like a nice little simmer right now, and every maybe minute or so I'll give it a good stir, and then I'll let it brown. And usually just this takes about 8 to 10 minutes. Okay, so this is what it should look like. It has some like brown bits on the bottom. And now I'm going to transfer this to a separate bowl. This is happening in real time. I was honestly on the verge of tears, shaking from being so frustrated 2 seconds ago. So I got my composure because I don't like to cry on camera. And I'll tell you what's going on. So I was talking with the venue, and I didn't confirm that I wanted to change it to next weekend, but I asked them if I said, oh, the person who, hey honey. So I just got off the phone with the person who hooked me up with the venue in general because he's friends with the owner and blah blah blah. So he was kind of like the middleman for us. Okay, so what happened was I had messaged the venue earlier saying that if I were to postpone, if I could change it to this date, to next week, and they said yes. So I said, okay, I'll let you know at the end of the day if I choose to move it. I just need to check in with some attendees, and then no response. That was at 9 in the morning. 3:50, I said, when is the latest I can let you know about this date? The weather forecast actually changed and it's clearing up. It won't be snowing as much as we anticipated. And then the owner or whoever is in the text thread said, hey, I already moved it. Sorry about that. I canceled the staff. Let me know if that works or not. Thank you. That was like the first thing. I was like, wait, what do you mean you canceled it? So then I thought they could just hire them back on, or just let them know that the event's back on. So I said, I didn't confirm that I was gonna move the event. Since you already canceled the staff, do I need to move the event? He said, sorry about that. Yeah, next week is great, thank you. I'll give you a nice birthday shot on me for the inconvenience. I said, it's not for my birthday, it's for my business, and it's an actual ticketed event. He said, then a shot on me for your business, even better. I'm like, does he not realize that me canceling on me like this when I didn't even confirm, because I honestly wasn't gonna, anyways. Because of this, if I have a lower guest count, can you please lower my invoice to reflect that? He said, unfortunately, I can't do that. If it's because of the package you got, we'll make no money on it. If it's under 25 guests, that's the main reason. So then that's when I asked the person, it's a business. He basically connects businesses like me with restaurants and venues and everything, and he's kind of like the middle person. I don't know exactly what the business model is for him. I'm assuming he gets like commission percentage on the sales of the event package that is sold, something of that sort. But anyways, so that's when I texted him. I said, hey, can you chat for a second? He called me, obviously we were just on the phone, and then he said he's gonna try to call the owner to rectify the situation, and if not, then I'm gonna use a different one of the spaces that he can connect me with. But that was actually insane. Like, I was just trying to brown my butter while on the verge of tears. Like, I was just so frustrated because that is the last thing I needed. And because for the Social Lux Club, it is such, I mean, I wouldn't even say it's a new business, but I just don't focus much on it. So it's not a revenue generating business. So in 2026, my goal was to just go all in and actually make an impact and make it another stream of revenue, because right now I only rely on the agency. And this is just not a good first kickoff event for 2026, because I have been dealing with so many issues with this venue, but they're very strict in the sense where I signed the contract, I paid, and now they're just like not budging. Even the space that I was gonna use, so on the invoice it says a specific space which isn't really enclosed, and I didn't know about it. It's like very like florally, very bright, very girly. I loved it. But what they didn't tell me is it's not super enclosed and insulated. It's a space that is weather permitting, which they never told me. So it's on the invoice that I was gonna use that space. Last week, they texted me saying, I confirmed. I said, I'm gonna use this space and blah, 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 just confirming. They said, actually, it's gonna be too cold and we wouldn't recommend using that space. And I said, well, if you weren't gonna use that, if you knew that it was weather permitting and you know that you don't typically use it in the winter, why did you allow me to sign the contract and put down an invoice for that specific space? Because I told them I loved this space because of the floral aspect, and now you're putting me in another room that's like dark, dingy, more like speakeasy vibe, because they have multiple different private rooms in one space. And they were like, well, it's just up to you. You can if you want to. We have heaters, but it just wouldn't be a comfortable experience for your guests. So then I'm like, what the heck? And now this is happening. The last point I'll make on this is, when I booked the space, I originally wanted it for the 31st, and they said the room I wanted was not available, but it was available on Sunday. And this is something now I have to learn. This is a learning experience. So I said, okay, great, put it on Sunday, put down deposit, everything. Things are always happening with events. Like sometimes you don't get all the tickets sold, or sometimes there's a bunch of last minute cancellations. Like I already had, one person cancel because something else came up. So then I checked in and said, hey, in the case that you know, a few days leading up to the event, there's a couple of plates that are not going to be served. Can I remove that from my invoice? Because assuming it's a restaurant, they can just not charge me for those plates or whatever. And they said, no, you're the only party at this on Sunday. I said, what do you mean? We're actually closed on Sundays, but we're opening especially for your event. I said, I did not know that. And they said, if you chose any other day, we would be able to be flexible with your invoice and the head count. But because we're only opening for you, we won't be able to. I'm like, when? You never told me that. So now moving forward, when I'm working with venues or restaurants or whatever, something to note is now I have to make sure, check their schedule and see if they're even open on the date that they are allowing me to use the space, or else I'm going to be in the same situation. Such a headache. Let's get back to this banana bread. I'm sorry if I'm like complaining a lot in this video. I feel like I'm going on multiple rants about the business, but also this is real time, real life, things that I am processing in real time with you guys on camera. Let me know if you like this style, because I can definitely show you more into what really goes on as a business owner. And if you are someone that is interested in entrepreneurship, or if you are a business owner, then maybe you can relate to some of the things I'm going with, which is you never know what can happen. Anything can change at any point in time. Even things like this, having a venue owner completely cancel all of his staff when I said I will let you know at the end of the day, depending on the weather, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so anyways, back to the recipe. And the only thing I don't have is milk, but you only need 2 to 4 tablespoons depending on your batter. I don't have that, so I'm just gonna be using water to thin it out if I need to. But I have half a cup salted butter or unsalted butter. Then I have 3 overripe bananas mashed, great. I need 1 egg, 2 to 4 tablespoons of milk, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 2 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and then chocolate chips. So I have to first separate the dry and the wet ingredients, and then after I can combine it with a spatula. First things first, all the dry ingredients, 2 cups of flour. Then I'll have 1 teaspoon of baking powder. And then I also have 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Because I'm using the other whisk, I'm just gonna use this baby whisk to mix this all together. So to reiterate, 2 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt is in here. And then in this one, you have to preheat the oven to 350. I don't know how I forgot that. Hopefully the lighting is better now. I need 1 cup of brown sugar. So 1 cup of brown sugar. Oh, wow, this brown sugar is kind of tough. Hello. Okay. Oh my gosh. I'm making a huge mess with this sugar, and it's like not what I need right now. 1 egg, mixing this together, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and then lastly is adding in the butter. I'm mixing that all together, and then what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to incorporate the dry ingredients. I honestly would only need it for the first hour because it'll be more networking. I honestly just feel so distracted right now because I'm simultaneously trying to get a new venue with a new space while also baking this. It's supposed to be like my zen, my relaxation time, but I'm like simultaneously trying to lock in another space that's willing to take a party of 20 right now within less than a week's notice. I know there's a lot of places in New York, obviously, but I specifically need a place with a private area. So now I'm gonna fold in all the dry ingredients into the wet ingredients. And what I'm doing is I'm just folding it in. This is a really big spatula. I don't think I need all that. Okay, I'm just folding it in. I noticed that, or even the recipe says it, but if you were to whisk it, it can get super dense and chewy. So while I fold this, I want to talk a little bit more about how my faith works with my business. I personally am Christian, and I bring God into my business in so many different ways. And a big part of it is whenever there's something in my business, I always pray about it. I always kind of just find some sort of like peace within a situation before I move forward. If I feel like it's chaotic and anxious and all these things, and I know that it probably isn't right. And I also listen to my gut feeling. When I first moved forward with this event, it was really exciting, it was really great, but then the venue really just took a toll on my excitement because they were so strict, not willing to budge, and just making me feel so stressed about the situation, where if they were more flexible and allowing me to, you know, lessen the amount of plates, instead they were saying, oh, you know, if we move it, you'll have more time to sell extra tickets. Don't think they should be telling me that, because I wasn't planning on having more, but whatever. Anyways, so I just feel like in this situation, because of the way that I'm being treated as someone who was gonna pay like $2,500 for food at their restaurant, and so now I have no other option than to move and cancel, or cancel with them and move to another space, which now I'm seeing that it's actually going to save me probably $1,000, because they're very expensive and their service fee was like 28%, which was I think like $800 or $900 extra dollars. And in this instance, as a Christian business owner, all I can think about was God truly looks out for me. He saw that I was struggling. He saw that I was feeling disrespected and not being taken seriously, especially with the comment of, oh, I'll give you a free birthday shot for the inconvenience. And I said, this is not for my birthday, it's for my business. Oh, haha, even better, I'll give you a free business shot. Like, I just did not feel, I just feel like I was being laughed at when I voiced my concerns multiple times throughout the process. And what did God do? God put it on the owner's heart to actually cancel for me. So I didn't even have to do anything. And because I'm not the one that's canceling and they canceled it, I can get that full refund, because if the client or the customer cancels, which this is in most cases when it comes to catering and events, if they cancel within a certain amount of time, they do not get any refunds. And from that message of me saying, I'll let you know, he decided to go ahead and cancel the entire thing. Because of that, I'm not breaching the contract, and I am able to exit out of this contract without any money being lost. God is watching out for me, and that everything happens for a reason. And even though it's really stressful, I feel like all of these little buildups and moments were created so that I can have a better outcome. Like, all this stress that I was being put through by the venue and all these things, almost, it just strengthened my case time after time as to why I shouldn't be working with them, where I finally have an out and I don't have to work with them. And I just see that as God protecting me. This is why I don't use parchment paper, because it's so difficult to put the batter in. This is why I can't multitask. Guys, I forgot the most important part. This could work out because my grandma's banana bread is what I grew up on, and it never had any chocolate chips. I'll be fine without it within, but I can just do the entire top of chocolate chips and it will be super yum. I knew something was off. I was like, you know, this is not the same consistency as I'm used to. But it's because I had no chocolate chips. We have finally made it to home stretch. Here it is. I can't believe it. This took so long because of how I was multitasking. And also I need to throw this away. Or I don't want to be wasteful. I'm gonna Google if I can somehow fix that. Okay, anyways. I'm gonna put this in the oven. Here's a closer look of the pan. Douse it with chocolate chips. I'm gonna put this at 350 for an hour, and then I'm gonna check on it. And halfway through, if it gets too brown, you can cover it with an aluminum foil at like the 30 to 40 minute mark. You should have to keep an eye on it, but I personally am able to just keep mine out in the open like this for an entire hour. It says 55 to 65 minutes, so it's up to your oven, but for me, 1 hour is pretty perfect. Okay, so 1 hour in the oven. Every time I use the oven, I forget to move one of the racks down. It's fine. Okay, I'm just gonna put that right there. and leave it for 1 hour. Just came out the oven. It's perfect, and exactly 1 hour. I checked it and it is perfectly baked. So now I'm gonna eat my dinner. I heated up the rest of the leftovers. Every single vlog you've seen so far, because I had my 2 moving vlogs, I had my recent vlog where I made this, and then I'm eating this again. Like, this is pretty much the only meal you've seen me eat in like 4 vlogs, so I'm sorry, but the timing was just off. The second vlog, this was my first meal, and then I went home for the holidays, and I came back, and then I made this again, and it just so happened, it just looks like I'm eating the same thing over and over, but tomorrow I'm making something different for dinner, so anyways, you'll see me cooking for that. So Dynamite Kiss is officially the worst K-drama I've ever seen in my whole life. Do not recommend. So I was on the last episode and I didn't realize it was the last episode until it just ended. They did a major plot twist at the very beginning of episode 14, which is the last episode, and then so many things happened, and then all of a sudden, and they rushed the ending. Like, it was just crazy. All of a sudden, it was like 1 year later, then it was like 20 minutes of the show, and then 3 years later, and then another segment. I'm like, what's going on here? Right now, I'm catching up on Emily in Paris. I honestly wasn't gonna watch it, but because I'm just so mentally exhausted by that K-drama, I need a little break from K-drama. I'm gonna move to Emily in Paris, and after that, I'll move back to K-drama, but that's what I'm currently on. I personally don't even like the Emily in Paris plot because it's like the same 3 people that keep getting rotated, and I just wanted to pick one, but I know it's never gonna happen. I cut the first piece. I forgot there's no there's no chocolate chips on the inside. So then I just am letting them stand upwards so it can cool down faster so I can wrap them. But here is my piece. I'm so excited. This is what it looks like. Alright, let's take the first bite together. I'm excited. What it looks like up close. Again, first time without mixing the chocolate chips inside. It's really good. But honestly, my grandma's banana bread is always gonna be any recipe that I make. Good morning, it is the next day. It is gonna be a blessed day. My energy is up, I feel a lot better, and I'll give you guys a rundown. However, I do have a call right now because for the community, I really wanna start doing co-working sessions. So I have a call right now with a space in Jersey who could be a potential partner. It's important that this venue is a partner because I don't want to have any cost for the venue because I want this event to be free. Like, I want these co-working sessions to be free. Last night, my mom and I were just fully going into research mode. That's why I love my mom, and also she's retired, so I basically talk to her for like 3 hours a day. Every time we're on the phone, we talk for at least an hour. Hi.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good, how are you? Cassie, right?
Yes, Cassie. And you're Shayla? Sheila?
Sheila. I go by Shy. So
Shy? Okay.
Whichever you prefer.
Got it. Nice to meet you. I'm glad that we're finally connecting.
Right in we call it Powerhouse Arts District, but really it's kind of like very, very close to downtown Jersey City.
Yeah, it's a perfect location. I'd love to know more about like you and your space, and were you like born and raised in Jersey, or okay, like tell me your story. I want to know. I just got my order in and I got a lot of stuff because tonight I'm gonna make 2 different things. So first for dinner, I'm gonna make chicken katsu curry because I love chicken katsu curry and it just sounds good, and also it stretches a lot. That's first. And then for dessert, I have extra apples. So I ordered apples from Costco a while ago, and then I just haven't been eating it as frequently as I should. So I'm gonna make an apple crumble tonight. I found a recipe off of TikTok, so I got whatever ingredients I didn't have, which was basically just like butter because I have everything else. So I'm gonna make that tonight. And yesterday, do you remember how crazy the sugar was? So I Googled it, and they said that an easy fix is putting a piece of bread. So I got a piece of bread. Also, for lunch, I'm just gonna have eggs, bacon, and maybe an apple. So I'm just gonna put a piece of bread in the sugar, and I know it's not gonna work overnight, but it says it'll take a few days. So I'm just gonna put this in here, my sugar fix, because it's a lot of sugar to waste, so I didn't want to do that. And I also need sugar for tonight, so maybe hopefully it loosens up a little bit. But anyways, I'm gonna make eggs and bacon, maybe an apple as well. So today's meeting with the potential venue, it didn't pan out as I wanted to. So they said that they do partner with communities, but they already have pretty much all of their spots taken up. They currently have 5 ongoing partnerships, and the owner was so nice. She was saying, I wish you reached out to me in December. That's when we got all the inquiries for it, and we filled up our spots for 2026. Hopefully we can do something in the future. And then she was telling me that she wanted to give me some recommendations. Also, I definitely mentioned this in very previous videos, maybe from like last year, but I only eat turkey bacon unless it's the holidays, because growing up, and we are not even, trust me when I say this, we were not one of those healthy families. Like, we had a lot of things that were unhealthy, and we are a big desserts and sweets family, so we never deprived ourselves for that. But for some reason, when it came to bacon, growing up, we were only allowed, or I wouldn't even say allowed, but we grew up with turkey bacon, and then on Easter and Christmas morning specifically, we would be able to have real bacon. So it was a treat for all of us, and we're all just so excited. And growing up, we would look forward to those holidays because we knew, oh, we're gonna get real bacon on these days. So now, now I'm just so used to having turkey bacon, but sometimes when I tell people that I prefer turkey bacon over regular bacon, they're like, what? How could you? And then I'm like, well, it was a special treat when I had real bacon, that's why. Okay, so here is the perfect little brunch snack plate. Obviously, it'd be ideal if I had a pancake. First things first, necessity. Crispy over easy eggs. And I mean crispy, like over hard. It's gonna be crunchy when you bite into it. Next, we have our 3 pieces of turkey bacon, specifically Oscar Mayer's. Then we have a handful of envy apples, specifically envy apples because they're the best, they're crunchy, they're crispy, they're tart on the outside, sweet on the inside. And lastly is half an avocado. This one was really smashed when I got it, so I hope it's not rotten, but I just wanted to eat this one already because of how soft it was. It's rotten. Never mind, not gonna chance it. I have to transfer these apples to another little baggie. I'll probably honestly just have chips with this then, or something. I'm gonna have 4 apples left, and I'm gonna use that for tonight's apple crumble. But the reason why I'm doing the apple crumble in the first place is because the apples are getting a little soft, and because I'm just so spoiled with how envy apples are, I just can only eat crispy apples, and if they get mushy, I kind of get grossed out. So they're on the verge, so that's why I'm just gonna make a dessert out of it. You're probably thinking, like, I already made a dessert yesterday, why don't I just eat that? I love a variety. I love pretty much every single dessert. So yesterday I made my banana bread. However, I thought I could get tired of eating banana bread every day, and I'm almost out of my Oreo ice cream, so I wanted to make this apple crumble. And then I also have my Dubai chocolate bites that sometimes I get tired of, so I'm just having some variety. And I also bought vanilla ice cream with my recent Target order to eat with the apple crumble, so that'll be another contender, but I'm excited to eat my lunch. Final lunch plate, I'm excited. Okay, so I would be an absolute liar if I told you that I was excited to be cooking right now. I'm honestly so lazy, but I love cooking, but not when I'm tired. But I still want to make the meal that I've been thinking about all day because it's gonna pay off. It's gonna be so good. So again, I am making chicken katsu curry, and I currently have the pot heating up. First thing I'm doing is dicing up this onion because this has to saute first. So we're just gonna chop it. And this is the first time I'm adding onion. Typically, I just add carrots and potatoes. So this is what the base looks like. We have the onion, we have the carrots, and we have the potatoes. And you can add as much as you want. I add a lot of carrots and potatoes because I just love a lot of that in my curry. But if you just want a little bit, add a little bit. It doesn't really matter. I'm kind of cooking the vegetables for about 10 minutes, and then I'm gonna add water and I'm gonna let this tenderize. This is the golden curry that I use. I specifically use the mild one. You can see here on the back it says for half pack cooking, so I would be only using 1 pack because I only have this amount left. It says that I would be using 2 3/4 cups water. Okay, so now it's time to handle the chicken, my least favorite part. But first things first, we're gonna set up the dipping stations after. So I'm using panko, and this gives it that crisp on the katsu. And I'm just going to pour this onto the plate. I'm gonna leave it out in case I need more. I'm debating if I should make a double recipe of it, but I don't want it to be too battery. Okay, so I'm taking 1/4 cup of flour, and then I'm gonna take, I guess, 1/8 of a cup of water. I'm just gonna fill this up halfway. And then I'm going to take 1 egg. And if you need to add more water, then you can do that as well, but you just want it to become like a batter consistency. I will definitely need a little water. Okay, so this consistency, I don't know if you guys can see that. I'm also getting some saran wrap because after I'm gonna have to pound it with the mallet. So I'm gonna put this ready to use. After I cut the chicken and I flatten it, I also have to season it with salt and pepper. So this was the first batch, nice and crispy. I'm so excited about that. And now I think it's time to put the curry in here. So I'm gonna drain out a little bit of water first, just in case I don't have enough curry blocks, and then I will show you guys what it looks like. Okay, so now it's time to put the curry. Honestly, I may have drained out a little bit too much water, but I'd rather be safe than sorry because I would hate to have very watery curry. So if you've never made curry before, it's so easy. You're basically just mixing water with the cubes, and adding all these vegetables are also optional, but I prefer it that way. So you're just taking this, looks like this. You can break it into 4, but I'm just gonna put an entire half and mix it in, and it'll just melt in to the water as you continue to mix it. The final curry chicken katsu, one of my faves, and look at all this chicken. What I'm gonna do is half of this I'm going to freeze and the other half I'm just going to cut up so that I can eat for my lunch or tomorrow's dinner. So I have about 2 or 3 more servings of the curry. And then after that, if I just want to eat this with rice, I can. I just eat it with ketchup. And yeah, so on all of this makes such a big mess. So I decided to not make the apple crumble tonight, but I did prep it. Reason being, it's like 8:30 and it takes an hour to bake and it's just not gonna happen. Also, I forgot to show you guys how serious I take my dessert. So I have all of my banana bread. Actually, I think I'm just gonna finish the Oreo because I believe I have one. Oh, I have 2 more. Okay, I'll just have that because this is not gonna thaw out in time. But I wanted to show you guys what it looks like after I sliced it up and wrapped it up. Not gonna lie guys, kind of going through it. This morning I just woke up and felt the lowest energy I've ever felt in so long. I just felt so drained and tired, and honestly I need to give myself grace because these past 2 days, these past 2 work days to be exact, have just been really kicking my butt. Yesterday was also really exhausting for me, and yeah, this is like the downside of entrepreneurship, is it is an emotional roller coaster, and every day you just have to keep showing up no matter what, because at the end of the day, if I don't do any work, I will not make any advancements in my business. I will not make any money. So I'm giving myself grace and I'm proud of myself because I still showed up today. I honestly was going back and forth this morning when I was laying in bed. I was like, I don't want to vlog, I don't want to do anything. I really just want to just have a no makeup lounge day and yeah, just do the bare minimum. But instead, I did my 1-hour walk and I did get ready. For timing wise, it is 12:30, so I did have a late start. I stayed in bed until 9:30 when originally I set my alarm for 7 and I just could not do it. But I'm proud of myself for even getting out of bed because I was on the verge of having a stay in bed and work all day kind of day. Once these events are done, it's a clean slate. I'm restarting and I can push out some new opportunities that definitely have more planning and alignment, I would say, especially alignment in what I need in order to operate my business. So that is all. I made a little snack plate, which is also my lunch, and I feel like this is definitely an upgrade from yesterday. I have a bunch of new things here. Well, 2 new things from yesterday. I have an avocado, I have carrots, which I don't have any dip for it, so I'm kind of sad about that, but it's fine. I just don't want to waste it. I have apples, chips, and then my turkey bacon. So I'm actually going to be working while eating this. No watching my show today, because usually at this time when I make my lunch, I'm taking a break from work, but honestly I haven't even started work. I have my laptop here, but didn't even do anything yet. So to compromise, I'm going to work while simultaneously eating my lunch, and I need to prep for a client call that's happening at 5:30, but I have a 2:30 and a 3:30 call, so I just want to make sure I get it done before my first call. And it's also exciting because it's going to be the first call where my assistant is going to be joining. I'm trying to get her slowly but surely get her more into the actual client-facing process, because by the end of the year I definitely want her to be taking on a bigger role, especially in the planning process. So anyways, that is my little update, and I will update you guys probably when I start doing my calls. Well, I hope you feel better. Thanks for still hopping on the call. Our wonderful event and influencer assistant. And she's gonna be helping with a lot of the sourcing for influencers, so I wanted her to be on the call so she can get a stronger idea of the people to source for your event. I'll show you 4, and out of these 4 you can tell me if you don't like any of them. You can be honest. I'll find more, and then if you do like any of them, then what I'm gonna do is set up a tour, and either Minnie and I will go and tour the space, send you videos and photos, or even FaceTime you during the tour if you are available. Okay, so the meeting's just finished. Also, I'm literally taking off my press-on nails, and these are a little tougher to take off, so please don't mind them. It's really bad. I only have 4 nails left, but I just want to take them off, let them breathe for a day or 2, and then I'm going to add them back on. Probably, since I have the event on Sunday, I'll probably do it on Friday. So anyways, I'm making the apple crumble now at 6:45. Hopefully I can get this in the oven in the next 15 minutes. So I'm just following a recipe on TikTok, and I will just link it down below. And also the brown sugar, it looks wet from the bread, so it's kind of working, but I don't know if it's good for the sugar to now be wet. We'll see. Okay, so 5 apples, half cup of sugar, which is a lot. 3 tablespoons of flour. Okay, then we have 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Okay, now we're doing 1/4 teaspoon of allspice. And then we're also doing 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Okay, then I have to do 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. Then, what's next? Oh, okay, so that's it for that. Then I just mix it around and add it into this pan. But then I also have to oil or butter it. Okay, so this is what it looks like now. And then I'm just gonna wait to put everything together. Now we have 1.5 cups of flour. So I'm probably gonna have to use the new flour. Three-fourths cup of brown sugar. Okay, now for the moment of truth. Let's see, I can tell that this bread is definitely getting the moisture taken out of it, so I should probably do a new bread. You guys can see, but it's kind of like crystallized a little bit on the side. It looks wet, so that's a good sign. So I have to do 3/4 cup. 3/4 cup of brown sugar. Oh, it's significantly, guys, look at this. So if your sugar is hard, put bread. Wow. And you guys remember the struggle I was having. Look at how easy I can even just quickly scoop it up. Wow, okay, I'm impressed. I honestly didn't think it was gonna work, but I learned a new life hack. Okay, so 3/4 sugar, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, and then we're also doing 1 teaspoon of allspice. Okay, then we're doing 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Oops. Oh, it's a little bit more. And then we're doing 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. And we're doing 1 teaspoon of vanilla. The last thing is the butter, and this is 1/2 cup or 1 stick of butter slightly cooled. So I'm actually going to put this in first. I'm gonna butter the bottom of this. So I'm just gonna take a new stick of butter. Okay, so first things first, I buttered the pan. I'm just gonna put this in at the bottom. Then I'm gonna pour this butter in. Just take my hand, scoop out the excess. And this is the crumble part, so it's supposed to kind of be like this weird, dry crumble texture. Looks like this for texture check. And now I'm pretty much just putting this right on top. Ooh, this is gonna be so good, I already know. And I love a good apple crumble. I love a good apple pie, but this is so much easier. And you can use any pan. This is just a 9x9 brownie pan. But look at that. The finished product, and this is what it looks like on the side. So I'm gonna put this in the oven. It's at 375 for 50 minutes, and then we'll see what happens. I'm really excited. Okay, now I'm gonna clean up, get my dinner together. I'm gonna be doing some leftovers. Obviously I have a ton of katsu left, so I'm really excited to be eating that. And then I can eat my dessert after, which I'm so excited for. And I can't believe how well this worked. That is mind-blowing to me. Okay, moment of truth. Yum. Here's the final review. Looks amazing. Gonna probably leave it for about maybe like 15 minutes, let it cool down a little bit, and then I can prep my dessert. I'm so excited. All right, let me zoom in for you guys. You can see. So I'm just gonna take a little chunk. Yum. You guys see that? It looks beautiful. Okay, I'm gonna take another little chunk because why not? I think I'll just go more for the middle. Do you guys hear that too? As you can see, I love food. I love baking and cooking, so this is really exciting. And honestly, this is like the best part of the apple pie because I love the crumble. It's my favorite part. I don't even care for the crust. I just love the crumble on top. So look at how beautiful that is. That's what the plate looks like. Now to add the ice cream. And this was so easy. This took less than 20 minutes to prep and put into the oven, an hour to bake or 50 minutes to bake. And now this beautiful dessert is in front of me and I'm really excited. Oh my gosh. How many times am I gonna say that I'm really excited? Because I feel like I've said that a million times throughout this video. Of course I had to get vanilla bean ice cream for this. That is beautiful. Here is the finished look of the apple crumble. Let me know if you guys try this recipe out. First bite with you guys. Gotta get a little bit of everything in here. Here is the first bite. Wow, the crumble just like melts in your mouth because of the ice cream. You get the softness from the apple. You guys have to try this. Wow, 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 wow. Okay, I'm gonna finish eating and call it a night. But this was amazing and I'm so glad I decided to do it because this has made my day a million times better. Hi guys, it is now Friday. Yesterday I took the day off from vlogging because I was pretty much doing a bunch of admin work, so there is nothing exciting. But today is exciting because, well, I wouldn't say exciting, but there's a lot to do. One of the exciting things is I am officially onboarding my first team member for the Social LUXE Club, which is the small biz community for New York, New Jersey, surrounding area entrepreneurs, specifically small business owners. Anyway, so Sunday, I have the first event, which unfortunately she won't be able to make it then, but after this she'll be helping with the planning. So onboarding my very first event coordinator, so excited. And then I have that call today. I have a client call for the agency to do a check-in call at 5 p.m. and then I need to start prepping all the gift bag items. So I'm gonna make custom things. So I have a Cricut machine. I'm gonna make custom name decals and put it on the notebooks, which just came in the mail, so I need to go downstairs and pick it up. And then I also need to put the decals on the gift bags and also the thank you notes, which I had the little thank you tags and they didn't come with any ribbon, which I didn't realize. I didn't even think to see if it came with ribbon because all the photos had it. Whatever. I have to start prepping that today because tomorrow I have to go to Jersey City to grab some print items because that is the closest, like FedEx, Staples, all of that. That's the closest one near me. So I need to go all the way there. It's about like a 45 to an hour commute to get there. And then I also am gonna meet my friend Alex. We're gonna go to the Hive and we're gonna get cinnamon rolls. So excited. So that's tomorrow. And then, so I wanna make sure I get a lot of stuff done today. So tomorrow I don't have to just feel stressed because I wanna enjoy my time, spending time with my friends. So this is the current setup here for the snack plate. I don't know why I keep calling it a snack plate. This is like a meal, but I guess everything separately would be like a little snack. But I have turkey bacon, I have the leftover piece of chicken from my katsu curry, and then I have 2 eggs, half avocado, chips, and carrots. This is the last bit of carrots finally. It took me the whole week to get to the bag, but I'm also gonna make a Target order today so that I can get more things because I'm really enjoying this like little snack plate vibe. I do want to get back into making my salads because it's much more convenient, but also I had no protein with that. But for this, I have all the protein, the healthy fats, plus veggies, and I would have fruit. So anyways, I'm gonna eat this, then I have my call, and then I can start prepping a little bit for the event. And then I have to hop on my 5 p.m. call. Obviously details matter, especially in events. We tend to have to be type A people with a tight ship, so we make sure everything goes well and all of our attendees and guests have a great time. Integrity, commitments are honored, respect for time, boundaries, and people. And obviously, I will be doing the same for you in all of this. And ownership, team members take responsibility for assigned work. Office hours and work boundaries. So Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. is when we would be like in communication of the event. So this is like the only exception where, example, on a conference day, we would probably be up and early at the space at like 6 a.m. So that would be our office hours that day would be very different. So event days are not just 10 to 6. The internal communication, so like I said, we'll be using ClickUp and it'll be our primary communication. I think I showed you a little bit of what it looked like the last time on the call. So this, I love ClickUp because 1, you can use it on your desktop. 2, it's also an app that you download to your phone. And 3, you can actually embed it as an actual app onto your desktop, rather than having to go on Chrome and logging in. You can, it can be its own app. So that's why I like it. You can use it in 3 different ways. Okay, so here is the back half of my closet with all of my inventory. These frames are for the LUXE Edit New Fashion Week activation. But what I need to grab is, well, I do need to start packing probably tonight. I need to start packing the things I'm going to use, such as the vases and the gift bags I need to grab right now. And then I also need to grab a couple other things if I can remember what they are. I just have to go through everything. But this is why I decided to get a bigger apartment, because I wanted to fit this. However, at the end of this year, I would ideally like to find like a really nice storage unit to put everything in the city, because in the case that I'm not here or if I'm really sick, I realize that I am bottlenecking my business. I don't have any other system to make the event happen besides me, which is not good. I wanted to test out these gift bags. They're really cute and tiny, but I got only a few things for the gift bag, so I just wanted to see if it fits. Okay, so here are all the gift bag things. These 2 things are for the tablescape. I got these satin brown, dark brown table runners. And then I got white table candles, so that won't be obviously in the gift bag. Oh, these are stunning. And it comes with black pens too. This is so pretty. And I just don't like how much plastic is being used for this, because they're all sealed nicely. But okay. Should I take this off too? Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna have to take that off. Okay. So each of them gets this notebook and a pen. And this pen is really nice. And ideally, what I want to look into doing tonight is, do I put this in here? Hold on. Sorry, confused. Oh, perfect. That is so nice. Look at this. Okay. Ooh. So it is this leather notebook, and it comes with an inner pocket, it says. I'm guessing it's this. Oh, that's so nice. Comes with this little inner pocket here, and then obviously has all the notes. so nice, and because it's leather, I'm gonna try to customize it, and I'm gonna put their names right on the top, and it's gonna look so pretty and chic. So before the guest speaker, this will be handed out, and it'll be like a nice surprise. So the goal for April's event and moving forward is to be able to get sponsored gifts for these gift bags. Ideally, like business related or beauty, because 90%, I would say 99% of the attendees, this one 100%. But if it's a larger group, like 30 people, there's probably at least like, there's usually 1, 2 max men. But honestly, in a room, I don't think there's ever been more than 1 guy there. So I just say 99%. But I would like to have, you know, some beauty sponsors, wellness sponsors, business related sponsors. So here's the folding desk phone stand thing. It looks like this. You can also raise it up. So you can raise it, extend it, and it's portable. So this is perfect for business owners because they're also the content creator, and I wanted to just provide things in this gift bag that are actually useful, because there's a lot of times where people just give out really random things that make no sense. So I'm actually going to be putting the gift bags together on site, but I just want to make sure that everything fits in the bag, so then I can start putting the logo on there. So this is really nice. This is the first time I'm seeing all of this too. This is a leather business card holder. And then the last thing, which I could not find all the same color, which kind of bummed about. I also ordered brown tissue paper so that I can cover it and make it look super cute on top. So this one is cool. Not only is it a portable charger, you can charge it, but it's also a multi-connector. You can plug this into your computer, and then you can plug this to your phone, and it retracts like this, and then you can lay it like, you can put it like this on the table, and then your phone can fit right there. So I'm trying to think if I could take one of these off and slide it through. Here is the final gift bag. So they're gonna get this, and the tag is so cute. It says a little note to say thank you. So I'll probably, I don't know if I'm gonna put anything on here, but if I do, it'll be the logo. Then I'm gonna put the logo probably on this back end instead. And then here is the inside of the gift bag. I'll put the brown tissue paper on top. Lastly, they'll get this brown notebook with their names on it. So it'll be nice, cute, and customized. Currently doing this, which is taking off the vinyl. So this is the final like gift bag look. I just did one test run, so got the logo out here, and then what I end up doing, instead of putting another logo here because that would make no sense, I ended up doing a cute little handwritten, is it even focus, a handwritten thank you note. So they're all gonna look like this, and the gift bag with the brown, they look really nice. And I still have to do a test run for the notebook, but I'm gonna do this first. But I'm using my Cricut machine, so I'm making a big mess over here, but it takes so long to take off the vinyl. It's officially midnight, and I just finished all of the books and the bags. So now I feel better about it, because tomorrow I don't have to worry about it. I can just close this up and call it a night. Tomorrow I just have to grab the flowers, the print items from FedEx, and then pack up the bags. So this is what it looks like. These are so cute. I'm obsessed. Look at how stunning and chic these look. I'm so happy with it, and I hope everyone loves it. It's white, but it kind of looks like silver, which matches this silver gray pen, so it looks very, very upscale, which I'm so happy about. I'm going to just quickly clean up some stuff, get some rest, and I will see you guys in the morning. Good morning. It is 7:45, and I woke up a little late. I was supposed to wake up at 6. I woke up at 6:45, but I am fully ready. I have to rush because I have to go meet my friend Alex. We're going to the Hive this morning. If you don't know what the Hive is, it is a very, very popular coffee shop that only sells cinnamon rolls on Friday, Saturday, Sundays, and they have monthly flavors. For the month of January, they're doing banana bread cinnamon rolls. Even the dough is banana infused, and they're collaborating with this girl named Allie, and she has a business called Allie's Banana Bread. And I could not be more excited. I'm actually Ubering there because the trains run maybe every like 30 minutes, and the last one just left, so I don't want to wait another 30 to go. And they open at 8 o'clock, so also reason why I need to rush. And usually they're sold out by 9. So let's go. I'm with Alex. Her hair is so chic. Let's first talk about that. She just did a big chop. We're here at the Hive, and we are gonna do a little reveal. Okay, ready? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Oh my gosh.
It actually does have a little banana.
Yeah, so it's a collaboration with Allie's Banana Bread and then with the Hive. And they also said that the dough is like banana infused dough.
Oh.
Yeah, so it'll be really, really good.
Delicious.
Alex's first time trying the Hive. I feel like I need a little piece of, no, actually, first bite, I need to just do the cinnamon roll. And then the second bite, I'll add a little.
The banana bread.
Yeah.
See.
Okay, oh, I was gonna do a cheers with you.
Oh, cheers. Wait, cut it out. Not really good. I actually like it.
I think you would also really like the original too.
I'm not a big fan of cinnamon rolls. Like, I like them, but I'm just not gonna pick first. But I do really like this.
Wait, so you came here just to support me?
Yeah.
And you ended up really liking it?
The banana bread fire. Oh my god. And I love banana bread.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so that was like a selling factor for you. Okay, so I just got back home and I went to Whole Foods. So I went to a few places today. First things first, I went to the Hive, got the cinnamon roll. It was amazing. I spent so much time with Alex. I haven't seen her in a while. But long story short, we met when I used to have like a part-time job as a store manager in Soho, right when I moved to New York. And then, well, not right when I moved, probably like 6 months after I moved to New York. And we worked together for a year. And then after that, I quit and I got my corporate job, and then she quit because she got promoted in her corporate job. But then we would literally always hang out. I went to Whole Foods. I got the flowers for tomorrow, which I'm so glad that they had a selection because typically they don't. And then I got the print items from FedEx. I have to cut all of these, but it's just so much more affordable when you print them whole and then use a paper cutter. This is the attendee prompt card, so I'm gonna cut these out. It's a 4x6, and this is gonna be on their, kind of like by their plate. I have the place cards, which I have to also cut out, and that's just gonna be folded right in half. I also have to pack everything. So there's a lot I have to do today. It's already 2 o'clock. One, I have to edit the YouTube video that's gonna go up tomorrow because I have no time this week. Secondly, I have to cut all of this, which this will probably take about an hour. And then I have, well, I hope it doesn't take an hour. I also have to pack my bag, which that would probably take about 20 minutes to get together. Tonight, before I go to sleep, I have to put my nails on. I also have to send out an email to all the attendees. I'm gonna do a time lapse, and I'm gonna watch through the final watch through to make any last minute edits. And then after that, I'm gonna clean up and call it a night because I definitely need to get to sleep early because it's gonna be a long day tomorrow. Okay, so I have the onion, bell pepper, broccoli, and chicken in here. And I also put salt, pepper, garlic salt. I'm gonna put this marinade here. This is from Target, and honestly, it makes stir fries so easy because I just cook all the vegetables, put the shredded chicken, and then I'm just gonna pour this all over. And I kind of just do it taste because this is actually a lot of chicken, probably the most chicken I've ever used in one, so I might have to use a lot of the sauce to actually get it to marinate. So I know it may look bland, but I actually put too much of the sauce and it is a bit too potent and sweet. Didn't know that was really possible, but nonetheless, it's still good. Honestly, it does feel a little weird eating this with mash, but I only have this much left for tomorrow, and I have a ton left in that pan, so I'm probably gonna switch to rice. But watching some Bridgerton on season 5, episode 4, that box over there has all of the event things, so I just have to put them in the trolley and they're good to go. And the last thing I have to do for the night is apply my press-on nails. Good morning, guys. It is Sunday, it is event day, and it is 11 degrees outside, but it feels like -9. I don't know how to feel about that. I don't know how to dress for this. I don't want to overdress because I'm just going to be sweating and delayering, so I'm wearing a heat tech top with this blazer pants, but I'm also, of course, gonna be bringing my scarf, my overcoat, and yeah, but I'm gonna wear heels instead of boots. I don't know. This is gonna be a tough day because of how cold it is, but I'm about to leave. I have to get there at 10 and it is 9:16 and it's gonna take about 35 minutes, so I'm gonna call the Uber. But one thing I really wanted to do before I left was show you my nails. So last night I put on these press-on nails, and I think I briefly mentioned it in a previous video, but these are by Oxylus Bliss. This is in Angelina. I have these 2 others, and I'm starting to grow my Oxylus Bliss collection because they're so amazing because they're super durable. They last 2 to 3 weeks. They comes with either stickies or a glue that you can use, and then also the great thing about these is they're very durable. They are long-lasting. It takes about 15-20ish minutes to apply. They're reusable and recyclable, durable, sustainable, and a small business. And you guys know I love supporting small businesses. So I've already used this twice, and both times I took them off after 2 weeks. I used this one 2 times already, so I can use them again and again and again. After you take them off, you can just take off the stickies or take off the residue, put them back in here ready to use again. Same with this one. I haven't used this one yet, but it's called Sweet Nothings. And then again, these are the Angelina. So I have a code. I'm not affiliated with them. I don't get any commission from sales, but I did ask them if they would be willing to share a code with me to share with you guys. So if you use code CASS, then it gets you 15% off. If you do end up ordering something, let me know which style you got. They have so many amazing designs, and Carolina, the designer and one of the co-founders, she hand designs all of them, and she also hand makes a lot of them as well. So she's amazing. Support a small business and you will not regret it. We're at the space. It's so cute. We're gonna do the whole table. Minnie's here again and we're doing the gift bag setup here, and we pretty much only have 40 minutes, so we are going to be really fast. But even the, did you see the menu, Minnie? No. It's custom for us.
Oh my god.
Like, there's our logo, and then
That is so cute.
And look at the menu.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Can't wait to try it.
I know. Just finished. I think we have our first guest coming up. Everything looks so good. I'm so happy with it. So we have everyone's nameplates, we have the prompt cards, vases, flowers.
have a quick question. We're trying to figure out how we turn on this.
Turn it off instead of start.
So now we're so confused.
I just wanted to make a little announcement. First, thank you so much for coming to this brunch. It is the first official rebranded brunch of the Social Lux Club in 2026, so thank you for being here. Thank you. And if you've been here before or with the Social Lux Club, then you know that this is a more elevated setting. We're in an actual restaurant this time, and I'm not running around getting the food together for everyone, so I'm happy that you're here. So I wanted to let you know that on this card here, you have everyone's Instagram and their name. Juanita also let me know that her Instagram is different. Yes. And then also on this card, you see that we have a call to action to schedule at least bare minimum 3 introduction calls before you leave. And this is because we really want to be intentional with preserving the connections that you make today. So if you find someone you really connect with or you want to learn more about your business, schedule an intro call, Google Meet 30 minutes within like a few weeks so you guys can preserve your connection. And also if you want to make it reoccurring, you're like, hey, I feel like we really vibe, let's do a monthly call together just to catch up and, you know, talk business. Okay, so that being said, in the meantime, we're going to start taking orders within a few minutes. So you can see your menu here, which I customized for this brunch, so I'm really excited about it. So you have a few options. You can take 1 appetizer, 1 main, and 1 dessert. And so you can take a look at that. And when you're done, I recommend starting to do the introduction calls and start to plan it. So I'm going to be asking every single one of you before you leave, by the way, what 3 people or more who did you schedule with? Enjoy. Thank you for being here, and I appreciate you guys. Who wants to talk to me?
How do you feel, Preston?
I really want to start ordering, but there's 2 people that are not here, and it's kind of wait, but I'm type A, so it has to be on schedule. Other than that, I'm excited. I feel like this is such a nice, like, elevated experience, and everything came together. Maybe that I was stressed on the verge of tears when the venue can have that. You know, this is all God's doing, you know? He saved me from that situation. Was like, here, have a better one.
God is good all the time.
All the time. Because of that, yes, we have all these right now going here that is amazing. Small business owners gathered together, and it's going to be a lovely afternoon. So beautiful. This is the bacon wrapped shrimp. Honestly, I should have got that. Now I'm jealous because I'm like, I got the salad. Ashley's helping me.
Well, actually, Christine helped me find your shutter speed. So this number right here determines how fast and how slow. So this right here, we always suggest that's more like here.
So cute. The plates are gorgeous, and I'm jealous.
You can have it.
No. I got the eggs Benedict. Most people got the burger. Oh, French toast from Christine. Never mind. I'm really enjoying myself. Okay. Yes. Oh, thank you. First was the crumble donut, and now it's the warm brownie. It looks really soft, the brownie. Ooh.
The benefits. The benefits one here. Okay, so we love 9-to-5 benefits, but we love small business cash monies. Yes? Okay. And are we looking for the 100K to help just make our lives a little bit easier, have a little bit of cushion? Are we looking for that to replace whatever salary you have right now? To knit and craft and make my candles. I was able to talk to people who resonated with me online and still make the same amount of money. Like, that's kind of crazy to think about, but like, I don't know, in a hypothetical world, that would be a really cool thing to reach. So the number is so important because step 1 is just understanding that you have a goal and it is achievable. Because I bet you didn't write down infinity. Am I right? Did anyone write that down? That's also okay, we'll touch on that a little bit later. But most of you wrote down a number and it's 100% achievable.
Yay! Social Lux Club! 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's a photo now. 1, 2, 3. Cheese, 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 cheese. Okay, that's a wrap. That's a wrap.
That's so good. How
Okay, that's a wrap. A great friend. So see you next time at the social Lux, the Lux Edit. Yeah, see you at the Lux Edit.
Alright, I just got back home and I am so happy with how this event went. Honestly, it was the least stressful event I've ever hosted on the day of. Obviously, it was very stressful leading up to it with all the different changes. But on the day of, like today, it was just so nice because I'm so used to doing everything. And the reason why I've never done restaurant events before is how expensive it is and how the ticket prices were too low to cover like the food and all the different costs. But because I rebranded, I wanted a more elevated approach. So with the tickets being 170 to like 190, I was able to host it at a restaurant. In order to make a profit, I need more attendees. I think I need at least 30 plus attendees to actually make any sort of significant profit. I also sent Monica a $100 gift card to Uber as a thank you. The transportation itself, it's $100 each way for me to Uber, so that it in itself is basically the profit. Plus I tipped extra because the staff was so amazing. This was probably the longest week of my life. Like, it felt so extremely long, but I'm happy that I got through it and it's on to the next thing. So now tomorrow I'm gonna start a new vlog, but tomorrow I have my first meeting with my event coordinator. I'm gonna give her the rundown. She unfortunately could not be here today because she had prior commitments. And so I had my other assistant from the agency come over to the club for today, and she was amazing per usual. And tomorrow I'm gonna start planning the next event for the Social Lux Club. I'm gonna do like a poll and try to figure out which type of event I should do next, and then also deep diving right into New York Fashion Week because that's in a couple of weeks. A little nervous about that, but it's gonna work out, and I'm just so glad that I can bring you guys along, and I hope that you guys enjoy this behind the scenes type of vibe for my business. But I hope you have an amazing, amazing rest of your week, or start to your week whenever you are watching this. And thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch these videos. I know this vlog specifically, I bet it's gonna be at least an hour. And so if you watched to the end, thank you so much. I feel so grateful that you guys are just supporting this journey and being a part of this community, and it means the world to me. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I will see you guys in my next vlog. Bye guys.